we have a huge free agency update for the Miami Heat. So I know that most of us have probably been sitting around patiently waiting to see what's going to happen in free agency this year. So one of our free agents is Haywood Highsmith, and we just got a big update on him. So we're going to get into that in a second. But first, we also have another really interesting update that just happens to be about Jimmy Butler, who has been talk of the town recently. So we're going to talk about this one first. So Windhurst recently made a statement publicly, which I'm going to read to you. So he has said, from what I understand, Jimmy Butler plans to be back with the Miami Heat next year, even if there's no extension. There's teams that have definitely asked if he's looking to get out, and he said, I'm good in Miami. So this is such a breath of fresh air with all of these rumors and reports circulating about Jimmy and where he's going to go if he's not staying with the Heat and all of these things. But hearing this coming from Windhurst's mouth, I think is really a good thing to hear. And let me just say, Windhurst, very reliable, right? Like a Woj, Windhurst, Shams. So I'm happy that it's coming from him. Also, he recently has I never knew he had this in him, but his little rant on Luka, he's a G. And I really respect him, especially after that. It was just so funny. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. It's really funny. But anyways, I'm happy that it's coming from his mouth because it is something that we can take and be like, okay, this is probably legit. And it just, again, feels really good, especially with all these different things being said about Jimmy. And I think if there's one thing we can agree on as Heat fans, it's that we don't want to see Jimmy go, right? I'm hoping none of you guys want to see Jimmy go. I sure don't. But I thought that was really interesting in that it's something that you guys would definitely want to see or hear. Now, back to free agency. So, as I mentioned earlier, Haywood Highsmith, free agent this year. We haven't heard much yet on, coming from him if, he wants to stay or he wants to test free agency. There hasn't really been much reporting on that specifically. However, recently, there has been reports about him wanting to come back. This article specifically, so I'll make it bigger for you. So he is in contract talks with us, right? So I know that he wants to come back because his agent recently, and I'll put it up for you, he has stated, so Jerry Dionis, that's his agent, has said, if the money is close, Haywood will stay in Miami. You combine his perseverance to get to the NBA with his toughness, character, and work ethic. He personifies Heat culture. So this is coming straight from his agent, so obviously I'm sure, he wants to stay with us. Now, I guess the important thing is, do we want him on our team? And I guess, it's really hard in situations like this because I hate to ever say, I don't want this person or whatever. Well, I guess I don't hate to say it because I do say it. But we're going to look a little bit at him as a player, his numbers specifically, and we'll kind of break it down from there. So this season, he averaged 6, 3, and 1, shooting 46% from the field, almost 47, and 40% from 3, basically. So, honestly, from these numbers, it's really just looking at something that just has no impact, or not something, Highsmith. And, 46% from the field it's great from the field, right? But keep in mind, he's only shooting on average 4 shots a game. He's only taking 4 shots a game. So if he makes 2 of those, not even 2, he's going to be at his almost 50% from the field. So in my opinion, it's just really not a crazy stat. And again, just 6 points, not that impactful. So not to be harsh, but I kind of said the same thing about Caleb Martin. I'm not super concerned if he does want to go somewhere else, but Caleb Martin has been more impactful than Highsmith, just to put that into perspective. So, I don't know. The only thing I can think of to give him the benefit of the doubt, and actually, so he's listed as 6'7". We have him as 6'7" on our stats. However, he is listed differently all over the place. So I believe ESPN has him listed at 6'5", so not even like a 1-inch discrepancy. 6'5", he's listed at 6'6", 6'7", and we do have him as a forward, right? But again, I think this league, and I'm glad more people are saying this, it's really a positionless league. And honestly, I'm not going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's 6'7". I feel like he might be less than that. I don't know. I haven't been up next to him. But again, even if that is something to consider on a team that I believe needs to focus a little on size, I think we do need size. Obviously, I don't want to give up any type of size that we do have, and any forward that we do need, but his impact or his size, 6'7", or whatever he is not enough to make up for the fact that he's just really not that impactful on the team in general. So I don't know. I love that he wants to stay. I love that he loves Heat culture and that he feels like he personifies it, as his agent said. But in terms of like actual numbers and, you know, wanting to win, as a fan who wants to see their team win, I don't know. The article says that he's not worth a lot, which is why it would be easy for us to keep him or easy for other teams to offer him enough money because, again, it's not like a high number. But I think it's worth it? Not necessarily. Again, not to sound harsh. Anyways, we are going to be updating, so there's a lot of things coming out all the time. So make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.